Hello and welcome to this week's blog. This week you join myself and Mark on a road trip in the Secret Lake Chronicles. A few weeks ago we both made a plan to take a couple of days off work and fish the Secret Lake and then do a night session on one of the Limb Anglers waters, Founder's Pool. The hope was to catch a few carp in the series and then spend the night hopefully trying to catch my first ever catfish. Catfish are a species that I've never fished for before, and in truth I've never fished a lake that's had them in. So join us both on this adventure in the Secret Lake Chronicles, a special in the series. So preparation for the session began a few days earlier, where we went round Mark's to prepare baits for the session ahead. Two completely custom mixes, one for each venue that we were planning to fish. And we'll go into the mixes later on in the video, but a few days in work remained. Those completed, it was the morning of the session, and with the car loaded, we made our way to the Secret Lake. As you've just seen there, both rods have screamed off, and we're going to do a quick blog of this one because it's a special fish for me. It's the first fish that I've caught without the use of a boilie. Seeing what Mark did in the last episode gave me the confidence to try it myself, and a white tiger nut over particle is what caught it, and I'm proper made up with that as a result. We'll take a look at the rig and the particle that I've used in a second and how the rig's constructed, but that is a special fish for me, that proper made up. £15 and a lovely common. Let's take a look at Mark's.
There we go, there's mine. Fish number 2, one for Danny, one for me. Brilliant start to this session on this road trip. Danny's made up and I made up for him, but he's got the confidence to try it. But what a start. Let's get these back and get some more.
So fishing with Mark for a couple of years on the bank, when they say opposites attract, I do his absolute head in being the muckiest angler about.
Nightmare.
Where,
stuff everywhere. Drop. Where's this gone? Where's that gone? Probably where you dropped it.
Cannaboro.
I forgot this. Can't find that. Nightmare.
Whereas being so disorganised, I call it organised chaos. Mr. Everything in place, got to be in place, is bivvy the same layout no matter where we go. His little table to the left, his charger, he's got his cooker to the right, his bed chair leaned at a critical angle, got to be the same angle. If it's like 2 degrees off, bad karma, innit?
Bad carp karma.
Bad carp karma.
Comfortable, might as well not be fishing.
unbelievable. Forget the end rig, forget bait. If the carp gods aren't with you, Mark's not going to catch. So let's hope. He's been praying this morning and they turn up. So with the fish weeded up, Mark, the first one that's really weeded us up, what advice would you give people that are new to carping about this situation?
When they're weeded up as bad as this, see that big bank of weed there? It's completely matted with it. So just keep releasing line, nice and slack, till it frees itself, if it frees itself.
Which when the fish is coming through the weed, that's when you need the pressure to keep it coming.
Yeah.
But if it locks up solid, you're just going to damage the fish and tear its lip.
Tear its mouth, tear its lips. Just give it slack line, hopefully it'll release itself and move out. Hopefully when you tighten up again, it's still there.
Good sound advice, and that's what the channel's all about. I'm learning all the time with the carping. A good bit of advice there from Mark. So just after we finished recording, the fish bolted out the weed bed, and as you can see, he's now free of that weed, and it's just about having a bit of patience.
Another little mirror with the looks of it.
And the third fish of the morning. It's been an excellent start to this little adventure.
There you go. This was one that was stuck in the weed. I'll give it a bit of line. It's released itself. No tears, no cuts, and a beautiful scaly mirror. Not the biggest in the lake, but a beautiful one. Look after them and they'll keep coming back.
Doesn't like the rain, doesn't like the cold, doesn't like the snow.
3 layers on.
3 layers on. If it isn't,
Thermals, middle of summer.
if there isn't 2 digits in the thermometer, he ain't coming out. There he is. Thermal brew, carpy pose, praying to the carp gods, spitting. So with Mark tucked up in the bivvy with his heater on and a cup of coffee, the rain coming down, decided to set the camera up and I'll talk a bit over my approach that I'm using today. Fishing for me is all about journeys and learning, and you saw that in the Canal Carp Diaries, how we went from catching bream and it ended with a 20-pound canal carp. That is the type of journey that I love in fishing, where you feel like the series sees you develop. So having seen what Mark did in the last episode with just a particle approach, a nut approach, it was something that I wanted to, get confidence in. We do live in a world that is boilie obsessed, and that is the road that most of my carp fishing would go down. Even if I was fishing over particle, there would normally be a pop-up on the hook. So in this episode, I decided to go completely boilie free. So I'm using the same particle mix as we've used in the first 3 episodes, because why change it? That mix of red maize, yellow maize, maples and tiger nuts has been a fantastic base to fish over. With 15 to 20 fish on the bank in the series, the fish on here obviously like coming across that bed of bait. The bait that I've gone with as a hook bait is a white tiger nut, and as you'll see on screen now, we'll go over quickly how we create that rig. First of all, you get the white tiger nut. If you dry it off, it's a lot easier to work with. Drill the centre of the nut out, being careful not to split it, because they are very easy to split. You want to go just till it's about to break the surface on it. Gently push the cork in and leave it so it looks like almost like a mushroom. I'm fishing that knotless knot style on the hook, on a knotless knot hair rig, to a size 6 J Precision hook. I'm using ESP tungsten braid, and I've got a AAA Dinsmore shot on the line just to keep the line pinned down, and that is to a rig sleeve and a simple overhand knot, double overhand knot to attach it to the line. It sits on the bottom as you're seeing on screen now, where the nut just floats above the hook that sits on the bottom. And that is the rig this morning that I'm delighted to have caught that fish on. More than made up. We've had plenty of fish on this series so far, but that is a special fish for me, and one that's given me confidence in fishing a completely particle approach. And I can't wait to see how I can put that into my other bits of carp fishing. And there we go, second fish of the session for me. 14 pound, 4 ounces, again on the white tiger nut bottom bait over that particle. Absolutely buzzing, absolutely made up. 2 doubles, and yeah, Mark's had a couple as you've seen, and it's a fantastic day on the bank with a good mate. Let's get this fish straight back.
Now this lake was stocked 8 years ago. 205 carp. In the 8 years, it's never been netted. So we're actually battling through a lot of small stuff to get to the bigger stuff, which are coming. And with that, with the weed in the margins and all, it's a challenging little lake. But there's some stunning fish in here.
So the club water we're off to now holds catfish and carp. So fingers crossed that one of us tonight can pick up a catfish. Be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, you can have the catfish, I'll have the carp.
That's the one. You've obviously caught them when you've been in France, haven't you? So I've got a laugh to come if I get one, I imagine. But yeah, so we'll join you again when we're back on the bank, setting up for the night session.
Good evening. So here we are, lake number 2 of the day. Founders Pool, Lim Angling Club. We're here for the night before we set off early doors again back to the Secret Lake, and I'll show you around the pegs right now. So here's my peg. I'm fishing one off that tree, my right hand rod, fishing one out to the island there, and I'll take you around to see Danny's dump. There you go. Drop, drop, drop. This is Danny's. Danny's right hand rod run to the island again. His left hand rod just over that to that tree there on the left in the margin. So this is where tonight starts. Let's see where it ends. So we talked about the spots. We was well informed that big beds of bait worked on here to get the cats going. So I've made this mix up. In my experience of fishing for cats in the past, not that I fish for them that often, they do like fishy things. Anything fishy works. So we've done this particle mix with a bit of everything in really, just a big grubbing mix. But we've got loads of tuna, fish oils, blended fish oils, and over the top we're putting these big 20mm halibut pellets on. Nothing fancy rig wise, just drill these out, hook them on, big beds of this over the top. Let's see how it goes.
Mark's got a catfish in the net. and my left hand rod has absolutely melted off. I don't know how good the footage is going to be in the low light, but this is on a big halibut pellet, and my god did it scream off. It feels quite heavy. I've never ever caught a catfish before, and I'm just hoping that this is one. And I've just seen a flap of a tail, so it is one, and I'm absolutely shaking. Absolutely shaking. So me rod absolutely melted off, and power, really powerful. I say I don't think it's a very big one. I say, but it's very welcome. He's in the net. Get in there. Absolutely get in there. I ain't gonna lie, I've been hoping and praying all day today on the Secret Lake that I'd get a catfish. It's not a very big one, but it doesn't matter. Let's go and have a look at it. Right, so first ever catfish. Did he calm down at all? I'll just keep doing this.
Yeah, we'll do it all the time.
And there we go, really quickly. 13.5 pound. My first ever catfish. Absolutely buzzing. What a little fight he put up. I'm more than made up, as you probably heard on the footage. I don't know how much you're going to see on the GoPro, but yeah, my first ever catfish. Buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. And even better, Mark's got one as well. And if we don't get another one, what a lovely end to the trip that will be. Great stuff. Let's get it straight back.
There we are. Little founder's cat. Mine roared off. Danny was dealing with me and mine, and he's roared off. And I'm more than made up that he's got one, because I wanted him to get one. I've had him before, but they're always nice to catch, I suppose. But bring on the carp, eh? Let's get it back.
So it's safe to say the thought of catching a catfish is much better than the reality. There we go. Second catfish of the night. Smaller than the first, probably about, what would you say, Mark? Maybe 8?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And they are an absolute nightmare to hold. No one's ever caught one before. They fight like mad, but yeah, a nightmare to hold. At 1 o'clock in the morning, catfish number 3, similar size to number 2, and when I got him on the hook and mat, he was behaving quite well, so decided to do a bit of a blog. So yeah, hopefully it comes out okay. I guess we'll see in the edit. But catfish number 3, all 3 coming down that margin to the tree. And yeah, hopefully they quieten off a bit and we can get a bit of sleep. But yeah, it's a lovely fish. Quite hard to hold. This one's behaving quite well, but we'll get it straight back. So after a few cats in the night, the carp rod has absolutely melted off at first light. It's about 4:30 in the morning, and I don't think this is a catfish. And the key is going to be keeping it out of the way of that line. It's just on a tiger nut boilie. Fished as a pop up. And like most of the fights with them cats in the night, it's right under the rod tip. And is there a better feeling than a bend in the rod, the birds singing, and the lazy boils of a carp? Hopefully this time. And he's ours. Get in there. And there we go. A lovely 16.5 pound carp. As a wake up call, it didn't half scream off. And a lovely way to end this bumper edition of the Secret Lake Chronicles. It didn't half scream off this morning. I was miles away. All them beeps in the night from the catfish, you know, keeping me awake. But yeah, a lovely way to end this episode. Thank you all for watching. Tight lines in your own fishing, and we'll catch us all next time. Tight lines.